Take a bird from its nest, put it in a box, drive it 1,000 miles away to a place it's never been. Open the box, and it flies straight home. No map, no signs, no roads, no mistakes. Now imagine someone did that to you, dropped you 1,000 miles away with nothing. You would be completely, hopelessly lost. The bird isn't smarter than you. It's reading something written into the planet itself, and you have gone almost totally blind to it. Every year, billions of animals do the impossible. They cross oceans, deserts, and continents and arrive at a single exact spot. A specific beach, a specific river, a specific tree. Places some of them have never seen before. For centuries, we had no idea how. We guessed they followed the stars or the coast. But the truth is far stranger than that. Most of them are following an invisible force, the magnetic field of the Earth itself. Start with the bird that began this mystery. In the 1960s, two scientists, the Wilczkos, ran a strange test. They put migrating robins inside sealed-round cages. No sky, no sun, no landmarks at all. And still, the birds tried to hop in one exact direction, the direction they needed to migrate. Then the scientists switched on an artificial magnetic field, and the birds instantly turned to face a new way. They were steering by magnetism. But how do you see a force? The answer is hiding inside the bird's own eye. In the retina sits a protein called cryptochrome. When light hits it, something quantum happens. It creates pairs of particles sensitive to magnetism, and the Earth's field tilts the way they react. Scientists believe this paints a pattern over the bird's vision. A glow, a shadow, a compass laid across the world it sees. The bird doesn't feel north, it literally looks at it. It sees the magnetic field like a color you'll never know. Humans noticed this power thousands of years ago. Ancient armies and sailors carried homing pigeons, releasing them to fly messages home across hundreds of miles. We used the bird's gift long before we understood it. We just never asked how a pigeon always knew the way. And that was only the first animal, because others use the field in even stranger ways. Consider the sea turtle. A hatchling breaks out of its egg on a dark beach. It scrambles into the ocean alone and vanishes. For years, it drifts across the entire Atlantic, thousands of miles, completely on its own. And then, as an adult, it does something impossible. It returns to the exact beach where it was born, to lay its own eggs, decades later. A scientist named Kenneth Lohman uncovered the trick. Every stretch of coastline has its own magnetic signature, a unique strength and angle, like a fingerprint, and the hatchling imprints on the one from its home beach. It saves that magnetic address for life. Then, years later, it searches the ocean until it matches. The turtle carries a map it was born already knowing, a memory of a place written in magnetism. It never learned the way home. The way home was installed before it hatched, and Lohman found the same map in a creature you'd never expect, the spiny lobster. He captured lobsters and drove them far from home through long, winding, disorienting routes in covered tanks so they could see nothing at all. Then he set them down and watched, and every lobster turned and walked toward home, not toward the nearest shelter, toward the precise direction of the reef it had been taken from, a blind walking creature on the ocean floor carrying a magnetic map inside its head. The salmon does something just as haunting. It hatches in a tiny freshwater stream, then swims out into the vast open sea for years. But when it's time to breed, it comes back. Not just to the right river, to the exact stream, the precise water where its own life began. It finds it using two hidden senses at once. First, the same magnetic map guiding it to the coast, and then, incredibly, its sense of smell. Each stream has a unique scent learned as a baby. The salmon literally smells its way back to its birthplace. Now look up at something even smaller. The monarch butterfly. It weighs less than a paperclip, and it flies up to 3,000 miles. From Canada all the way to one forest in Mexico, to trees it has absolutely never seen. Because no single butterfly makes the whole trip. It takes several generations to complete the migration. The ones that arrive are the great-grandchildren of the ones that first set out. None of them was ever taught the route. They navigate by the sun, corrected for the time of day, and by the same magnetic field buried in their instinct. A map for a place, passed down through the blood. And some push it to the very edge of possibility. The Arctic tern flies from the top of the world to the bottom and back, every single year, pole to pole, the longest migration on Earth. Over a lifetime, it travels far enough to reach the moon and back, and never once loses its way. By now, you might think this is only for wild travelers. It isn't. It's closer to you than that. Look at a dog. Your dog. In 2013, scientists studied thousands of dogs. They noticed something no one had ever spotted. When a dog relieves itself, it prefers to line up along the north-south magnetic axis. Your pet has a compass it doesn't even know it's using. Cats, cattle, foxes, the same hidden alignment. This sense isn't rare. It's everywhere in the animal world. It's one of the oldest senses life ever evolved. Older than sight, older than hearing. A way of feeling the planet you are standing on. Nearly every branch of the animal kingdom has it, which raises one very uncomfortable question. If it's this common, where is yours? Because here is the part nobody tells you. You are not an exception. You have the machinery too. There is cryptochrome in your eyes right now, the very same protein the birds use to see magnetism. And the magnetite in your head is not a guess. In 1992, that same scientist, Kirschvink, found actual crystals of it woven through human brain tissue, the exact mineral animals use to sense the field. Years before that, a researcher named Robin Baker blindfolded students and drove them along winding roads far from campus. When he asked them to point toward home, far more of them pointed the right way than chance should allow, as if something beneath their awareness was still quietly keeping track. And in 2019, Kirschvink went further and proved something eerie. He sat people in a chamber and rotated a magnetic field around them. The people felt nothing. They noticed nothing. But their brainwaves changed, measurably. Deep down, some part of them registered the shift. Your brain is quietly reacting to magnetism this second. You just never receive the message. The sense is still wired in. But the signal goes nowhere. And we were not always this deaf to it. For thousands of years, Polynesian voyagers crossed vast stretches of open Pacific with no instruments at all, reading the stars, the swells, and the flight of birds, holding the whole ocean as a map in their minds. Then we built maps, then compasses, then satellites in the sky. We handed our sense of direction to machines. And a sense you don't use goes quiet. The inner compass didn't break. It was simply drowned out and forgotten. The bird still hears the planet singing. You are standing in the same song and can't hear a note. To feel how strange this is, picture one small bird. A robin, alone in the dark, high over a black ocean. There are no stars, no moon, no land in sight. By every human measure, it should be utterly lost. But the bird is calm. Because for the bird, the darkness is not empty. Laid across its vision is a faint glowing pattern. Lines of force curving around the whole earth. It can see exactly which way is home. It has never once doubted the direction. Now put a human in that same sky. Blindfold gone, eyes wide open and still blind. Surrounded by the very same guiding field. Bathed in it, touched by it, and sensing nothing. The information is there for both of you. One of you is reading it. The other never learned how. That is the real gap between you and that bird. Not intelligence, just a door you let close. So what does this actually mean for you? It means you are never as lost as you feel. You were born standing on a map, wrapped in a signal that circles the entire world. The same one that guides the turtle across the sea. The same one the salmon smells its way along. It is touching you right now, where you sit. You simply traded the sense for a screen. Every time you open a map on your phone, you are using a crutch for a sense you were born with. There is nothing wrong with the crutch, but it's worth knowing what it replaced. That somewhere under your thoughts, a compass is still turning, quietly pointing to a direction you no longer read. The animals never lost the way home. They never had to remember it. They simply feel it. And once, long ago, so did you. The planet is still whispering which way to go. The bird is still listening. Nobody ever told you that you could listen too.